Hey everyone, this is Eric the Smoke Moran, and I am living that anime dream with Fenix D'Joan. Years ago, we didn't have social media, so we didn't have the ability to know that there were other people that were like us. It's a crazy feeling because you're like, you think sometimes you're the only one, and sometimes you can be cool with it, but you were like, man, how cool would it be if I could met other people like myself, the same kind of shade as me, or the same kind of mindset as me, or have the same type of attitude as me, all these little realms. And the fact that you're finding there's a fleet of so many different people that do think, that are the same shade, that are in the same mindset. It's all these little things that basically you've always wanted, and you're like, oh my God, there are people out there. And you finally realize you're not the only one. And I think that's when it really hit me, between going to the Star Trek conventions back in the day before social media. And I always used to think, oh, okay, you got the Star Wars convention. But I'm like, how cool would it be if I met other people that dress like I do? And because I was one of the first ones on the scene, especially when it comes to people of color that cosplay, it's really cool when you see. It's one thing when you're seeing other cosplayers that have, but when you see other people the same color also, it's a really refreshing, inspiring thing to see. That's not diminishing other cosplayers from all different backgrounds or all different colors. It's great when you can see other people that you helped pave the way or pave the way with you. It's a great feeling. You have other cosplayers that come up to you and say to you, for example, oh my God, you're such an inspiration to me. Oh my God, I love your work. I followed you for such a long time. It is a really, again, as I said before, it is very humbling when you have that, and it keeps it all in perspective. You know, I put the work in because I believe in the work, but at the same token, I'm having fun. I think one of the things that people misconstrue about cosplay, when you're building a costume, for me, it's about, you know, the people who I collaborated with, the friendships I made. Every cosplay I've done has a story. Think about the time when I make these costumes. Who was there with me? Who helped me build it? What did I do? What was I going through when I built this costume? So when I get asked that a lot, I do have one or two particular favorite costumes, but then I have other costumes that I really have a love for because of what I was going through at that time, the experience I had, the friendships I made, the people I collaborated with. And those costumes spoke in so many volumes in the presentation because of the fact that the collaboration, the time, the effort, the work. And also it helped enhance my talent crafting because I didn't think, I'm like, wow, I never thought I could build something like this. Or wow, I never thought I could work with someone that has the same mindset as me. Or I got a chance to work with this talented person. And I always acknowledge the people, the photographers that help bring out my cosplay. So that's important, that you acknowledge, you know, you don't have to do cosplay by yourself or when you're building something. But it's cool when you collaborate with different people. The most important thing is, again, this is where you stay grounded. You always acknowledge the people that helped you. You always acknowledge those people that you collaborated with. And most importantly, you always acknowledge those photographers. Because the photographers, again, they're another form of artists that are bringing what you bring to life in the real world. They're going to bring it back to you on paper and to show the world your art. So it's important that you acknowledge those kind of people that are around you. Not just family and friends, but the people that help build or establish your cosplays.
I completely agree. In fact, I have pretty much 2 cosplay photographers that I normally always shoot with. So almost all of my photos are Amamatsu-san. Big shout out to Amamatsu-san. Max Gaia. Big shout out to Max Gaia. Yay. And that's something, as you mentioned earlier, getting to work on costumes with other people. I mean, my mom, she even helped me with this very casual cosplay. I had her necklace on earlier, but I already put it back away and I didn't want to pull it back out. But those type of things where your family helps you, your friends help you, the photographers help you. I was at a cosplay shoot doing Tekken because I love Tekken. I'm a hardcore Tekken fan. Okay. And one of the girls, her wig got tangled. I had a detangle brush. So I was just sitting there and they have all these behind the scene photos of me just brushing the girl's hair. And I'm like having a field day. Like I have a living Barbie doll. And then I noticed the other cosplayers around me in Japan, they were like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. So then everybody came together and started helping her because Lucky Chloe has the long ponytail. So you need help to keep it detangled. And then as I noticed, I went to other cons, more and more cosplayers were helping each other out. And that's something that you don't ever expect recognition from those sorts of things. In fact, you don't need it, but it's just you be the change that you want to see. And that in and of itself is enough. Because once that love and positivity gets into the community, it just spreads. And that's just such a beautiful thing.
And I keep it real about the cosplay community. There's some friendships that you'll make, some friendships you'll lose due to whether it's social media or people get confused or because of what's going on socially right now. Some people that I was surprised on that I looked up to, other people that I was really impressed with that spoke their minds. So those are other things, but at the same time, there are other people who basically I can have great conversations with, even if they feel differently, we can have a civil conversation. That's the one thing about cosplay. I try to tell people and be honest with, because I don't pull any punches about it. The older I get, one thing I've learned, don't pull punches. When you cosplay, there are going to be some great friendships that you're going to make. But some of those great friendships are just chapters. They're going to be nothing but chapters because not all friendships last forever in the cosplay community. The ones that do are the ones that you cherish the most. But the ones that aren't, I've learned I don't burn anyone. Even if I had a fallout, and I've had fallouts with people within the community, but I've never needed to go out of my way to talk bad about them or to say anything ill about them within social media. Because that's the way I came up. That's just how life is. Some people want to get caught up in drama or do the cancel culture stuff, which I don't believe in. I don't play that game. I'm not about all that. Some people have depended so cold-heartedly on social media that they let everything dictate to them. They want to start a bonfire. I'm that guy that puts out the bonfire before it even starts to get lit. So the one thing I try to promote and try to tell people is, if you got beef with someone, don't do it online. You talk to them one-on-one behind the scenes. Because to this day, there are people who either I've collaborated with, have been friends with, that I'm no longer friends with, or for whatever reason. But people, the public will never know why, or they'll never know because I don't need to put it out there. There are some people I've seen that got to put every waking moment, every little detail of what they do, who they're doing it with, why they're doing it, and you don't need to do that. You just need to be practical. Show off your talent, show off your work, show the people and acknowledge the people that you work with or are inspired by, but you don't have to put every little living moment because then that's when you don't let the cosplay be the most important thing. It's about you and how much you're getting acknowledged. So that's one of the things I talk about openly when it comes to cosplay, because some people are like, oh, we're not going to talk about that because we want to be positive. I'm like, no, we need to talk about it because not enough people are talking about it. When it comes to POCs, people of color that cosplay, people get judged a lot. Me and you both have gotten judged a lot. Oh, that's a good character. You're a good character for a black person. You do a good job as that character. Or why can't you cosplay this black character? Or why are you cosplaying this character? That they're not black and all. Guess what? That's fine. But I'm going to cosplay it anyway. You know why? Because I don't care. I cosplay who I want to cosplay. And again, it comes back to the idea, are you cosplaying for them or are you cosplaying for yourself? There are people that, because I do such a good job as a cosplayer, people forget that I'm either black or they forget that, wow, they look at it like, wow, this guy did a good Batman. Wow, this guy did a good Superman. I remember I used to get asked in the beginning, oh, why don't you do Power Man? Why don't you? And there's always been a black character. And I just look at him like, yeah, okay, no. But then eventually I'll end up doing a Jon Stewart or I'll end up doing a Luke Cage. But that's on my own terms. One of the cosplays I did recently, was Kingpin, and it was one of the most recognizable characters. It was based off of Vincent D'Onofrio's portrayal of the Kingpin on Daredevil on the Netflix show. But years prior to that, Michael Clark Duncan did Kingpin for the Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck. And I will never forget people coming up to me like, "Oh, you're a big dude, and why don't you cosplay?" At that time, I had hair, so that was a no-no. First of all, second way around it was the fact that, well, no, because you expect me to do it because I'm black, and that because Michael Clark did it and he was black, oh, I have to do it. No, the only reason why I did Kingpin of recent, besides losing my hair, was also because of the fact I love Vincent D'Onofrio's portrayal of the Kingpin, and I wanted to channel that. And when I did, people put a side-by-side picture of me and Vincent D'Onofrio and were like, "Oh my God!" It's like, look in the mirror. So they didn't look at the color; they looked at wow, you did a good job at Kingpin. This is the best Kingpin I've ever seen. And that's when you know you have not so much mastered cosplay, but when you have changed the thought process of what people and how people see you as a cosplayer. I want it to be for all cosplayers to where you're not looking at it on the skin level, even though realistically right now, that's all people do. But you surpass that, you overlook that and just say, wow, she did a good character of this character and didn't care if you were a Japanese character, black character, white character. They just said, hey, you're a great cosplayer. You did a great portrayal of this character. And that's what it should be about. Some of these topics that I'm bringing up are taboo because people are afraid to talk about it within the community. Or if they are, they just do it when they just feel the need or they're uncomfortable talking about it. Why should we be uncomfortable to talk about these things that are serious in the cosplay community? Whether it's gender cosplay, whether it's a weight cosplay thing where people want to judge you on your weight, whether you're too big, too skinny, too in between, too muscular, whether you're a guy cosplaying a girl's character or a girl cosplaying a guy's character, or people with disabilities that cosplay. They can't cosplay, they're in a wheelchair. No, you should never feel limited in cosplay. You cosplay whatever you want, no matter what background you come from, because that's important. That's important. Cosplay is supposed to be a representation of anything and everyone. And people forgot that, again, these characters are characters you don't own. Unless it's a character you created a comic book series and it's your own IP, you can do your own interpretation of whatever character you like. It's what you see in that character. It's how you want to become that character. I've changed that narrative so many times. And luckily I haven't had too many conversations where people are like, well, you're a black character and you're cosplaying. I don't get that often because first off, if you don't say it to me in person, why be a keyboard commando and say, I don't like your cosplay because you are black or you're a guy or whatever. A lot of times they don't do that on the keyboard and definitely don't do it to me in person. So again, it's a good feeling. I just sometimes feel the need that it needs to be brought up because these are things that people need to touch on more. So we can get it out in the open, so it can be talked about. So this way we won't have as many problems within the community, and we won't have people, why doesn't more people talk about this subject? So, that's one of the things I'm addressing,
Thank you. And I agree. And I think that's why we get along so well, is that we're both using our platforms to raise awareness, to address these issues, because every cosplayer, again, the space that you represent is important. The people that follow you, talk to your followers. When you see them harassing other cosplayers, tell them to stop. That's part of your responsibility. That's part of being a hero to those around you. Cosplay should inspire everyone to be a hero to their community. That's all for this video. Be sure to subscribe and check out the interviews when they come out. Bye, my darlings. Mwah.